Hello, everyone. Welcome to the press conference reaction to Erik HAG versus Brighton today. I'm just had a little bit of technical difficulties there, so I'm just bear with me 2 seconds. We're going to react live to the press conference. We're going to discuss the Jimmy Murphy statue that's being unveiled today as well. So bear with me a sec. Jesus Christ. Nightmare. Absolute nightmare. I'm back. We're live on TikTok, we're live on YouTube right now to discuss Erik Hag's live press conference against Brighton. Against Brighton away tomorrow night. Of course, we already beat them in the semi-final. So, look, it's going to be another tough test. And I'm sure he's going to get asked many questions in regards to the game. And, you know, what will you switch up differently from the last time you played him in the FA Cup final? What did you like about Brighton? What qualities can you bring, etc., etc.? All that kind of stuff, which we are going to touch on, and we're going to break down. Lewis in the chat saying, "Yo, big up to Lewis every day of the week," which I'm definitely going to touch on. But I want to discuss the Jimmy Murphy statue that's been unveiled today, and I think it's been unveiled about 4:30 at Old Trafford, which I'll be going to. But look, for people who might not know about Jimmy Murphy and you know, there might be a younger generation who like no idea who he is and they don't have a clue or what significance he had in terms of Manchester United being the club that it is today. I mean, you talk about a story. Honestly, our philosophy as a club, our pure foundations, everything Jimmy Murphy did contributed towards that, even how we play today. And Matt Busby once said, no one outside the club will ever know how important he was to our success. And that was when he was reacting to the death of his friend in 1989, 30 years ago today, actually. He joined the club in 1946, spent a few decades, but in like a variety of roles. He was like a youth coach, a scout, an assistant manager, a manager, and he just did everything for the club, absolutely everything. And after the Munich air disaster, which left countless players and journalists and coaches dead, basically, United was rock bottom, and the future of the club was in doubt. He took control of footballing matters during this tough period and managed the club from, I think it was the 6th of February 1958 until the end of the season. But even by utilising the youth team players, I mentioned he was a youth coach. He actually used these guys in the tournament still, like the FA Cup. And he actually managed to get to an FA Cup final and a semi-final of a European Cup, believe it or not. Now, this is where the story becomes great. Obviously, there's a lot of disaster there. There's a lot of pain and there's a lot of hardship. But a decade later on from this, the team rebuilding had been absolutely finalised. All the hard work and all the sacrifice came to a glorious night at Wembley Stadium when United became the first English side ever to win the European Cup, defeating Benfica 4-1 in extra time. And not even just that, previous to that, United had won another 2 league titles in 1965 and 1967. And then Jimmy Murphy continued on as assistant manager until 1971 and then became a scout for the club. So this statue represents everything about Manchester United that we love, our principles, our history, our foundation. We already have the Jimmy Murphy Award when it comes to certain youngsters that are coming up. We've seen the likes of He Who Won't Be Named who have won it. I think Marcus Rashford's won it as well. And there's been a few youngsters who have won that award. And that award means everything when it comes to... That's another... Talk about the backbone and the foundation, the youth academy. Jimmy Murphy nurtured that and utilised them players in tough times. And it just symbolises everything about our club. We've also got a bit in the training ground, I believe, that's dedicated to him as well. And now we'll have a statue that's been unveiled at 4:30 at Old Trafford. So huge respect from myself. And I knew who he was. I didn't know the absolute depths of what he did for this club, which maybe, you know, it's me being an idiot and not, you know, older generation, whatever. But honestly, his importance to this club can't be specified enough. It really, really can't. And obviously, I think the older generation will appreciate it a lot more because they was, you know, about at that time, etc. But it's because of heroic people like Jimmy Murphy, we get to watch our beloved club. And all these last-minute winners and comeback stories and fight until the very end, which we see installed in the players now, or some of them at least, it all stems from the work that Jimmy Murphy and Matt Busby did during those tough times. So, yeah, absolutely massive respect for myself, and I will be at the unveiling of the statue later on, 100%. We've got a few people in the chat. Adam saying Eusebio played in that Benfica game as well. Yep, he did. Absolutely. Brian Casey, afternoon, Nick. A well-earned, long overdue honour for a true legend of the club. Sam saying, boom. Brian saying, without Jimmy Murphy, there would be no Sir Alex Ferguson. This is what I mean. Like, a lot of people want to live in the modern times and everything's now, and everything's quick. And sometimes people don't like to reflect and look back and actually see that the work that they did. I mentioned there, like during 58, when you had players who had died, coaches who had died, journalists who had died. And this guy kept the club going through extremely tough times with the young players that he had coached. Got to a semi-final European Cup, an FA Cup final, which, yeah, they lost, but they had none of the first team, basically. And then you fast forward 10 years' time, you've got 2 league titles, and you win the European Cup in 1968. Like, it's an amazing story, And that statue, well overdue, like Man Cave says there, 100%. Ten Hag has been a godsend. Yeah, he kept the red flag flying. That's the one. Yeah. So yeah, absolutely. I hope I see some of you guys there later on for the unveiling of the statue. And obviously that was one of the reasons why we're here today. The other reason is because Erik ten Hag's press conference will be live very, very shortly. So I'll go live for that. But if you got anything you guys for the next 4 or 5 minutes you want to discuss, any questions you want to throw in, and before the press conference kind of kicks off, then yeah, be my guest. You're more than welcome for it. And this game against Brighton is very, very interesting. If we all remember the semi cup, you all remember the semi final, extremely difficult. I mean, we basically had to play on the counter attack to get something out of them because they're that good in possession. I think Pep Guardiola touched on it, didn't he? He said Brighton playing out from the back are unbelievable, probably the best team in Europe right now. You talk about press resistance, intelligence on the ball, all that kind of jazz. When they Moises Caicedo or McAllister get it in the midfield, the way they play up the pitch, it's almost impossible to defend against. They've always got that spare man. And we noticed that in the semi-final. Difficult, very, very difficult. So I don't want another performance like that grueling FA Cup one because Brighton could have easily won that game. We won it on penalties. We didn't take our chances. That's been a reoccurring theme as well for the past couple of weeks. Just not taking enough of our chances. But Aston Villa, we was much better. So I hope we get a performance like that against Brighton rather than a little bit cowardly and hitting on the counter attack and all that kind of jazz. So yeah. Let's read some comments. Let's see some comments. Adam saying, do you know what legends are attending the statue unveiling? I've not seen anything about it, no, but obviously there'll be a few there. Has Brian picked his position? Or from the I sure did, took the number 8. Yep, centre mid. Absolutely. Or from the current team. Yeah, I think, well, the captain, I think when I went to the obviously the 58 on February the 6th, when they do the annual kind of ceremony, Maguire was there and Erik ten Hag was there as well. But I'm not sure because we're traveling tomorrow. I don't know who's going to be there, but maybe Maguire will be there, maybe Bruno. I'm not, like I said, I'm not entirely sure. It'd be nice to see the players there, though, paying the respect. Because without Jimmy Murphy, they wouldn't be there. So, Martinez injured highlights shows how shocking the defense is still. A few decent players that I disagree. Well, obviously we missed Lisandro Martinez. That's a no-brainer, but since Luke Shaw and Lindelof have came in, they've been unbelievable. They have been unbelievable in that back line. Solid as a rock. Lindelof putting in man of the match performances. Luke Shaw playing out of his skin. Luke Shaw as a centre-back, I'm telling you this right now, would get in most teams in the Premier League as a centre-back. That's how good he is. And it's insane to think that Jose Mourinho once famously said, didn't he, that he had to think for him. Do you know what I mean? It's crazy. The level he's showing in certain games. And it also shows how key balance is as well, like for your back line. When you're opening certain passing lanes, you've got a left-footed centre-back. It's just more spread out. It's more even. He's quick. He's strong. He's great on the ball. There's nothing you can dislike about Luke Shaw, to be honest with you. I think he's unbelievable this season. And if we didn't have him there and we had Maguire there instead, I think we all know the calamity that awaits. So thank you for everyone who's following me on the page. Make sure you check our YouTube out and subscribe to the channel. I'm live on there right now, and Ten Hag is going live with his press conference. Chivy, you're absolutely right. Impossible for me to do a show without burping. It really is. I don't know what it is. Or Richie Me knows. You probably noticed that as well. So let's see what the gaffer has to say. Has it already been on? Has it been a pre-record? Yeah, I think it's been a pre-record. Oh, sugar. You aren't Ten Hag. No, I'm not. I'm not bald, and I don't have any tactical nous about me. So they're asking me about Jimmy Murphy. What has Ten Hag learned about him? What does he know about him? Chivy wants the Maguire position. It's very good history of what he stands for. He's a symbol of youth and youth development. After Munich, manager. Not just that, he was a scout, youth coach, assistant. He did the jack of all trades. Not like Fletcher, because no one knows what his job is. Yeah, totally deserved. He gets the honour. Jimmy Murphy Centre, Jimmy Murphy Player of the Year. Now a statue, well deserved. Current holder of the award is Alejandro Garnacho. Great segue from Simon Stone. Oh. Simon Peach it is, I think, actually. What's going on with Yudi there? Speaking about Garnacho, saying he can make the final step. Talking about his new contract, which we're all obviously buzzing with. Turn that light down a bit bright, that. The expectations are going to be higher with Alejandro, your boy. Alejandro. Don't call my name, Garnacho. We have to start calling him Alejandro Tigerian for all you Game of Thrones fans. The demands are higher. We expect more from him. Such a young age as well, but he's an important player in a sense, isn't he? Good afternoon, everyone in the TikTok. Just currently watching Ten Hag live right now. So smash a like on the video, subscribe to YouTube if you haven't already, and smash a like on the TikTok as well. Talk about the progression, how he first got into the team, how he's developed. He's like the wild card in the guy, naturally. Bring him on, he can just destroy a defense. Quite a long one, this 10 minutes. Oh. Will he be available? Too soon. Ah. That's gutting, man. No Garnacho for Brighton. Wounded. Oh, they're asking about the first game of the season when we got beat off Brighton. Standards. I don't want to talk in the season about proud or whatever. We've not achieved anything yet, apart from a trophy, to be fair, Erik. Apart from a trophy, Erik, bloody hell. You'll get top 4, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. If I would have offered you a trophy in top 4 back in August, would you have taken it? We want to win every game. Good answer. Clear. Clear. Gotta love him, ain't you? The only focus now is Premier League games. Take it game by game. Every manager says that, don't they? This same guy's asked about 3 times. What if you do this? What if it's I don't speak about ifs, mate. You bloody prat. Good is not good enough. We have to do better. That should just be out on Erik ten Hag's gravestone whenever he passes. He's all about that, setting standards. Are you expecting I think Ian Irving from Talk Levels just asked a question. Do you expect a reaction from Brighton from the going out of the cup? I love that. It does. They'll have a huge motivation to beat us, but we've got to match that. Yeah, hunger. We played a lot of games this season, so this isn't Ten Hag saying it. This is me saying it. Being asked about the away form and how bad it is and what we've got to do to improve on it. I don't think about away or home. I think about every game. Oh, Varane and McTominay. Injury questions. Varane's closer than McTominay. DL. The coming 2 games are not available. Varane closer than McTominay. What's happened to McTominay? Does anyone know what injury he's got? He's got a sore leg, mate. He's got a sore leg. Too much iron brew in the morning. And a mouldy bit of haggis. You asked about Jimmy Murphy again. Oh. He's faced United several times before in big tournaments in the Netherlands. Chivy saying never had hope of Garnacho playing at Brighton. He's only just come back. I know, but I just want to see him, man. Garnacho, he's got the skills on the pitch and his hair's perfect switch from the sunny land of Tango is our United amigo. Very nice. Talking about young players, giving them opportunities, developing them. Character, personality. They have to be a good person and a good player. I think Arteta said something similar to that yesterday. That's what United's about, isn't it? It's the history. Kobe Mino, Garnacho. The two names he mentioned, which is interesting. Struggle, don't it? Even though we played a lot of games, we've not seen loads of youngster cameos, have we? To be fair, when you think about it. Yeah, quite a long one, but quite like a similar topics. So we've spoken about Garnacho, we've spoken about the Jimmy Murphy statue being unveiled and what he means to the club. Spoken about a couple of injuries with Raphael Varane and Scott McTominay. Apparently, Raphael Varane's going to be back sooner than McTominay, which is just a madness. I thought Raphael Varane was out for the rest of the season. But apparently, McTominay might be out for the rest of the season, which is, I mean, if you're going to pick one, you'd rather have Varane back, right? But I thought that was interesting. Does anyone know what's wrong with Scott McTominay? Anyone in the chat right now, in the TikTok and the YouTube, anyone have a clue? Because I actually don't know what injury he's got. I haven't heard anything about it at all. So that's interesting. Garnacho won't be back for this game tomorrow, which is a little bit devastating because I wanted to see him. Maybe he'll be back for the West Ham game on Sunday. Not sure if that'd be too quick of a turnaround, but hopefully he is. But away at West Ham, always going to be a tough game, tight, compact, cager. Every time we play West Ham, it's always 1-0 games in it. It's always really tight. And of course, who scored in the FA Cup against West Ham in the last minute? It was your boy, Garnacho. So it'd be nice to have him back for that. In regards to the game tomorrow, it's pretty much same team. I imagine it's going to play the same team as what do you call it, as we played against Aston Villa. So I think it's interesting. It's interesting. Adam saying, I thought Scott would be back by now. He's posted stories on Insta. Yeah, but I don't know. Ten saying Varane will be back quicker than Thingy will be. So yeah, I don't know. We're kind of, like we said, we're kind of dragging ourselves to the end of the season now, aren't we? And just hopes we can get the job done. Focused on the league. We've got, how many games we got in the league left? It's like six games left. Five, 6 games. I think we've got West Ham away, haven't we? I know we've got Chelsea. We've got Wolves. Bournemouth, I think, is in there as well. Who were the other 2 games? I think Fulham in there still. Isn't that the last game of the season as well? So 5 or 6 games roughly we've got until the end of the season. Just get a couple of, obviously you want to win every game, but if you can get a couple of wins, your next, I think top 4 is pretty much cemented. You get near the 70-point mark, your Champions League's done. And then you've got a massive FA Cup final against Manchester City, which is so big. That could literally, that game might not look massive now, but if City win the Champions League and they're top of the league and win it, that is a huge game for us, by the way, to stop them doing a treble. We're the only English team to do it, and we get the chance to stop them. But we're capable of doing it. We did it with the Invincibles. We did it with Chelsea when they had their massive run as well. Like, we are capable. We are that team to do that, to stop. It'd be hugely difficult. We've got games in between now and then, but I'm interested to see how this kind of next run of fit, how it goes. Because the players are obviously tired, aren't they? They're obviously tired. And thing he says there, Shirazima says, will Varane play the FA Cup final in Wembley? The question is, honestly, ask yourself this now. If Raphael Varane just came back at the start of June, would you play him? Or would you just stick with Lindelof and Shaw? I know what I'd do. Me personally, I'd stick with Lindelof and Shaw. I know it sounds crazy, but sometimes a rusty Varane or even a rusty Casemiro, I don't know if it's a Real Madrid thing, sometimes when they come back, it's a little bit like, oh, I'm not sure. So I would personally stick, if he comes back sooner this month and he's got a run of games, then yeah, fair enough. Play Varane and Shaw. Do you know what I mean? You get a bit more pace out of Varane, leadership, probably better in the air. So I would do that. But if you're talking like just the start of June, then I'm not entirely sure. Adam saying Shaw played centre back against City at Old Trafford and kept Haaland quiet, and we won. That's what I mean. Ollie Watkins has been the most informed player since the World Cup, pretty much, him and Rashford, and maybe a few more. And Aston Villa had scored in every single game. They'd won 8 and drew 2, and they literally didn't get a bean out of us over on the weekend. So I said it at the start of this when I went live. Luke Shaw as a centre back would fit in most teams in Europe. He really, really would. That's how good he is. Whether it was a back five or whether it was a back four, he'd fit in the team. He's that good. He's absolutely solid there. So, yeah. Chivy's saying if they're still putting in good performances, I wouldn't disrupt the chemistry. I'll start Varane on the bench. I tend to agree with that. Let's just put a poll up, just out of curiosity. So, I'll put it up on the TikTok as well. Let's have a look. If Varane was fit for FA Cup final, would you start him or Lindelof? Let's see. Let me know on the TikTok as well, whilst I'm just typing this in. Oh my God, everything's going wrong. Stop bloody typing the wrong letters, lads. Start both. Oh, you start Lindelof. Interesting. Luke Johnson says start both. We've got Ash Crit. I can't read. I struggle to read that name, but he's saying any update on the sale of Manchester United. Oh God. There has been updates, but I don't think you'll like him. The update as it stands at the minute is the two buyers are pushing for the club so they can get business done over the summer, and start on transfers immediately and recruitment and all that kind of jazz. But the Glazers are still like, we want more money, we want more money. Or now they're like, well, now we're going to work with Sir Jim Ratcliffe. Sir Jim Ratcliffe will take the majority sharehold, but we'll still have the voting rights. It's all a mess at the minute. But the deadline was Friday. He said Mike Keegan said 7 to 10 days we will hear back about something. So it's getting near that mark now. Maybe over the weekend we'll hear something in regard to the takeover. So make sure you turn on that notification bell so you do not miss a thing. Because when we go live for it, whether it's 3 in the morning, 4 in the afternoon, whatever you want it, we will go live. So both on TikTok and Thingy. So make sure you're following the page. Make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel, and we'll discuss that when news gets announced. Dave saying, I can't believe Shaw is unironically our second best centre back. I mean, there's discussions. There's certainly discussions for it, Dave. Adam saying Varane to come on in the 75th minute when we're winning 1-0 against him. Has to be said, Malacia in recent weeks has been a liability. Shaw might be better to be put on the left, otherwise Mahrez will rip him apart. But, having said that, Adam, Malacia was really, really good in the last game. Him and Dalot were like one of the outstanding performers. Well, the full back line, to be fair. Luke Shaw, Lindelof, Dalot, and Malacia are all fantastic against Aston Villa. So if he can put in that performance, and I'm pretty sure when we played City at Old Trafford, it was Malacia who pocketed Mahrez, was it not? Or was it the other way around? I can't really remember. But he's Malacia pocketed Mo Salah, didn't he, when we played him at Old Trafford? So he's capable of putting in these performances, but he's also capable of clanging what we saw at Sevilla. So maybe it is a little bit of a risk, but I think, to be fair, if Varane's back, I think Luke would probably be right. He'd probably start Luke Shaw at left back and then Varane and Lindelof together. But maybe not. Maybe you think about the balance and progression from the back. Luke Shaw's vitally important to that. So maybe not. Who knows? United Daily saying don't fix what isn't broken. Lindelof and Shaw alike have shown they're more than capable. 100%. 100%. But look, that's a while away yet. I think when's the final? June the 3rd, is it? Or somewhere in June, basically. We've still got 6 or 7 Premier League games to get through while we're doing that. And it starts with Brighton tomorrow. And we are going to have a live preview of that, by the way, guys, later on at 7 o'clock. Me and the lads are going to discuss the game in full. I know there's a lot of interesting insights and a little bit of topical news as well we're going to get into as well. So make sure you come and join us for the preview later on. Like I said, we'll be live 7 o'clock. Make sure you smash a like on the video. Make sure you subscribe to YouTube if you haven't already. And hope you all have a wonderful day. I'll see you later on, guys. Peace. Peace. TikTok.